There go the nades straight into the upper side, down the vents, and we have ourselves a B play. Tessus has to be careful of that potential flank. Oh my goodness, Exertion straight in with the headshot there, Anders, and it is a battle here. That looks pretty favorable right now for MOUZ in a 5 versus 3. Gonna get themselves an afterplan.
What kind of absurd peak is that? Who just drops like that from the ceiling? That's a rare way to take the fight, but obviously it's worked fantastically well. Kicksan and Magus left.
Nico called it in the little press conference there. He called that Exertion in the studio. Apparently that's a buff for Exertion.
I love that. I wish he could have stuck to it. Like, he had to break character at the end. I wish he would have just, you know, pretended like he really was, you know, just calling him out like that. It would have been funny, but yeah, obviously no chance to even get close to a retake here. So you're just looking for some exit kills if you could be allowed to do that. Some really awkward fight here. Yeah. Nobody's hitting any other bullets. Magus will eventually get a second kill on the board, so a little bit more money to work with. But MOUZ begin with a bomb plant down in B. I did a check real quick because I thought maybe I'm just wrong, but I think all the rounds that they won last time they played Nuke in Melbourne, it was all on A bomb side for MOUZ. Like they could only ever win rounds on A. So it doesn't have to be indicative of what's happening here. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's going to be a replay of the match, but it was just fun to see.
Yeah, super curious to see what both teams bring out with some of that history behind them going into Nuke. And also just seeing the performances as well, you know, which players are going to be stepping up. We saw that epic result from JimFat yesterday on Mirage. So we had to have the force, of course, here from Falcons. I'm going to see on the outside with that scout. Might be being a bit teased, but there go the smokes. And JimFat opening up onto Magisk as well.
So far, so good. Exertion making his way down below. And you can play a little game at home yourselves. Whenever you see Exertion out here alone and the other 4 in the lobby, you have such a good read of what's about to come. They do the opposite as well, where it's JimFat in the lobby and other 4 outside. So they sort of switch it around about who's playing alone. It also means that when Falcons find either Jimmy or Exertion outside, they know so much about what MOUZ are doing. So just watch on the minimap at home and try and get a sense of if you can catch what MOUZ are going to be doing next, because it's such a big indication where those 2 players are going to be playing in this opening half.
I love the respect here from MOUZ, as should be given. Falcons on a 4 spy, so very dangerous. But now MOUZ finding their way onto the bomb site, and again, in these types of rounds, when you get the bomb down, your chances go up significantly to win the round. The retake potential just really isn't there on the 4 spies, and so for Falcons, going to be holding on to those guns, giving it another go in the next round, it seems.
Yeah, why not? You can't really construct a good argument why they should do anything differently, so we're all for it. We're going to see if they can do something with the scout and the FAMAS in the next round. This one definitely not going to be too exciting, but, you know, MOUZ taking it very slowly, and it is something that we've highlighted for them throughout the tournament so far, their ability to really play a slow game when they need to.
And it really is the calm before the storm, isn't it? We haven't really had too many engagements, just the B rush there, and since that, it's just been pretty chill, but things are about to heat up for sure. I'm sure Falcons will probably try to take a bit more initiative going into this next round. They'll keep these weapons into it. Obviously, they'll be rebuying the next round anyway, so they can afford to take some more risks, maybe get aggressive outside, maybe go for a lobby take, something to try to surprise MOUZ. But again, there is the mind games. You know, will Falcons, rather MOUZ, expect such aggression? I'm sure that they'll be quite aware of that possibility.
It's, I mean, again, they have a bit to look back for, right? They have played each other in the past on this very map, so I'm sure that they're going to be going through the history and try to figure out exactly where the advantage is. Maybe especially in that yard. The big difference, obviously, is going to be when m0NESY could pick up something more exciting than the scout. Double smoke for the yard. Everybody really inside. Again, you could see Exertion is playing up on top of the silo for himself for the minute. Okay, Kicksan getting some information. He didn't really get the kill there, but not bad info. Grenade around the corner. There is a Deagle holding behind him. In theory, if you push this, it could be kind of rough.
Now starting to make their way back outside after that early lobby presence. We still keeping a couple of players here. Again, we mentioned it. Certainly aware of the potential for Falcons to do something disruptive. But Falcons, they are just not really taking any risks with that, not going to gamble on the early aggression. And they're going to force MOUZ to have to move. The clock is on MOUZ, of course. They've got to get that bomb planted. And there are those outside smokes. Now, how will this be read by Falcons? Because we can see MOUZ are nowhere near the outside.
Yeah, it's just going to be exertion, make it a walk across. And I think Falcons are already saying, you know, it doesn't feel like much is going on here. Execute onto the ramp instead. Tess is trying to relocate with a deagle in hand. They are going to be coming for him rather quickly, but exertion goes down. And again, that is a big indication. They find him alone. They know what's happening to the rest of MOUZ already. Rotating down below. Nico getting one more kill here. Tess is a headshot. Would be delicious, but he's not going to be able to. It's just Nico tapping away, murdering more people on the MOUZ side. They shoot Spinks to the back and leave Torshi with no backup whatsoever. Alone versus 3. No time on the clock. Nico with a quad kill, making it work with the French rifle.
Beautiful read there from Team Falcons, certainly prepared for this game. Oh, wow. MOUZ, you know, if you would think that they would have a good shot at getting some position, maybe getting the bomb down at the very least, but they got completely stymied there on their way down into the site. Falcons knew exactly what was going on. And I think really showing here, Anders, as well, that MOUZ need to do a little bit more to create a harder choice in terms of the rotations for Falcons. If they just play a super passive game, it's going to be the case that Falcons are likely going to find their position. It is also nuke after all, so MOUZ, I'm sure, will get a bit more aggressive here.
Ooh, well, you said it. A little bit more aggressive out there right at the beginning, but that smoke, that waterfalls off of Mini, it wasn't there in time. So exertion gets caught instead. And Nico in the yard. You don't want him fired up. He's going to be playing the mirror position on the T side. He's going to be out on the yard too. If he's already feeling good in the first half, that will be a problem for MOUZ. No question about it. But I do like this from Spinks. And it is a classic MOUZ strategy, wrapping around towards heaven. Even when Sue is on the team, they love doing this. And I think Brolan has kind of, you know, inherited it that much. Should be a good opening as they set up for it here. Looking for the double. He'll get it, nearly the triple. Nico going to get traded up by Brolan. And just like that, MOUZ are back in the round.
And in the meantime, Jimfat had crept into the vents, has made his way back up secret on the outside and able to collect that bomb swiftly. Obviously, the round not over just yet. MOUZ and Tess is still alive here to make a go of this one. And the bomb needs to be planted here by MOUZ. And the footsteps will be audible. So all the information here for Team Falcons, at least where one player is. But will they understand that Brolan is right next to Jimfat currently as they make their way up the ladder?
Yes, no grenades except for the flash on Jimmy. So they can't really stop them from getting out. Nice grenade. Oh, that was just a flashbang. He couldn't see a single thing. And Brolan now creeping on. Now he's got the right idea. Wins the first fight, trying to escape into the hot, and he barely survives. He's down to 14 health, but MOUZ, he does have the kit, so he's just going to stick it there. No reason why he shouldn't. Brolan, oh wait, he comes off it. MOUZ, he wanted to do it. He could have done it as well. Now he's almost out of time at Brolan. Wanted to peek in one last second, and MOUZ somehow manages to time it to perfection. Falcons, they win the round, and that's where someone like MOUZ really pays off. He's ice cold.
Yeah, that was a dangerous game just coming off of it, but of course he has such a good sense as to how to play that one. And I mean, also, I love that opening we just saw in the replay there. Seeing Nico, you know, a dominant force there on the headshots outside. I'm sure that's going to be a trend that continues. But the cool thing in this round in particular for me, Anders, was how MOUZ was so good at getting into really awkward positions for Falcons. We saw Spinks obviously getting up into the rafters, unbeknownst to Team Falcons, and Jimfat in the vents as well. So they had multiple awkward positions for Team Falcons to deal with.
Slows down MOUZ. I must say that the double kill for Spinks was so crazy because they actually shot at him first and he just transferred the spray anyway onto the hot player. That's... I feel like normally you die when that happens, and I appreciate that Spinks wanted to go for the multi-kill, but a lot of times you're just going to be straight up traded. Tess is probably just going to try and, you know, take a shot and fall back. There's no reason for him to stick around. Yeah, instantly out of there.
Falcons have everything under control. Happy to give up ramp? I mean, they have pistols. I mean, well, there's a Galil, I suppose. I shouldn't underplay the Galil. But even still, we have MOUZ on a rotation back through lobby, looking at that A site. Falcons feel so just sturdy at the moment in this defense. We'll see if they can connect the shots, though. MOUZ about to unleash the attack.
I mean, you said it earlier as well. They're so good at holding back right now, Falcons, and the clock is just running down on MOUZ. MOUZ have been spending a lot of time in this first half waiting for some Falcons aggression, and they've really not had much of it. So the dynamic for the beginning of the match here really seems to be MOUZ giving some space for Falcons to be aggressive and trying to catch them. When that's not happening, they just run the clock down low, and Falcons are still on the other side, quite ready with everyone alive and everything else. So, yeah, you got to wonder if MOUZ can find another way out of this, if it could be worth it for them to try and put some more pressure on, so that Falcons at least have to use some more utility at the start and maybe feel a little bit more stressed. Because 3-2, I mean, it's already good. It's 3 in a row for Falcons.
Yeah, I do love that approach that we're seeing from Falcons. We can talk more about that in a moment. We've got an outside aggression coming on through. Don't want to run into MOUZ though. The smokes will go down to make it a little bit more difficult for the defense outside from Team Falcons.
This is the other variation where you see Jimmy is alone inside of a lobby. Not that Falcons know that, but just to point out that if they were to find Jimmy there, I think they can put together almost the rest of the puzzle. Smoke going up here, and it's going to block everything for Nico. He can't see a thing there. Even diving down, Spinks in front of Unbreakable here. Going to get the shot anyway, MOUZ. No problem. He's so lucky to stay alive, though. Exertion very nearly had him.
However, really good pick there from Torshi on the secret area. Even though losing players, MOUZ Sports outside, it's going to be the case that there is... Oh my god, there's some timing there for Jimmy. Let's see what he can make of it as he goes for the engagement. Nice kill onto Magisk. And now there's still an opportunity. 2 versus 3 here for MOUZ. 50 seconds on the clock.
And Nico walked through the smoke as well. There's no reason Jimmy should ever be checking this when the smoke fades, although he is actually looking for it. He's got the right idea. That's very smart. He didn't see it. He had no idea that he was going to be there, but just raw instincts on the rifler there. And Torshi, unfortunately, pretty much an unwinnable position. The bomb, not in his control. It's up there. Yep, you know, the A-bomb site. He can't really go anywhere, so he's going to have to save out the round with the AK-47. That's 4 in a row for Falcons. And a different attempt here, right? With MOUZ, again, leaving Jimmy in the lobby, getting 4 people outside, and they try and do this wraparound, which, again, is one of their favorite things to do. Almost maybe to the point where it's also a little bit readable. If you watch enough MOUZ demos, you're going to see this. And again, like I said, it goes all the way back to MOUZ demos with Suhei in the lineup in a leadership position. They're still sort of doing that. Might be time to reinvent some of those things.
And one quick note there, we could see, you know, on MOUZ, I like that he's talking whilst he's AWPing, because there's a lot of players, AWPers, or, you know, like really aggressive, you know, riflers, you know, star-type players that aren't going to communicate whilst they're actively aiming at the same time, because you're putting that focus into hitting the shots. So
of course,
just another quality that we're seeing out of a star-level player like MOUZ that adds that value to the team. And, I mean, we're seeing it right here. 4-2, Team Falcons have seemed indomitable on their defense so far, despite some of the good moves we've seen out of MOUZ.
The residual effects from that, you know, showing up in the economy for MOUZ. It's becoming more and more of a tough job here. See if they can put some pressure on the ramp. In a funny position. I think Tessus is not that far away, but yeah, you miss enough shots here, you could be in some trouble. But we are talking about MOUZ, so I'm sure he's got the confidence. There's Nico outside as the smoke blows open. Exertion being found. Big part of the puzzle, I have no doubt, for Falcons. And they're setting up back here. You could see already setting up grenades. They know what could be coming next. Torshi, that's an opening and a half. Magisk, nice spray down. He does get the double, and Nico is there to seal the rest. He's such a menace. 11-2, and having him in that dynamic position in the yard, I mean, he can almost be anywhere on the map.
And again, seeing some great quality there from Falcons. Also, the opening from Torsi, the sole AK on the team. It's really cool to have the bodies around him. He gets the opening pick instantly. That's kind of your best case if you're MOUZ in that position. And oftentimes, we're going to see Magisk maybe get like 1 there, you know, because he's getting overwhelmed by these pistolers who can go on both sides of him. So honestly, actually a crazy solid result on the anchoring there from Magisk on the site. And that's a 5-2 scoreline here for Falcons. And it doesn't feel like MOUZ have been doing very much wrong, Anders. It's just, again, we've got some clutches that Falcons have managed to win, in addition to just unbelievably good mechanics and coordination.
You would almost love to see them throw in a really fast round to that A-bomb site. There obviously are some executes you can run where, as you climb up the ladder on the T side, you're basically throwing a Molotov that lands on the hut, even as you're just running forward. So you can do it really, really quickly, and maybe that would catch Falcons off guard. But again, the counter utility that comes out early in the round for the CT side is obviously hard to deal with. This time, again, 4 outside with Jimmy inside of the lobby. He's playing far back so as to not get crunched in case the CTs are aggressive, but right now, they don't feel any need to. It's going to be Nico holding this lineup.
Great opening there from Exertion. That's going to put the pressure onto Team Falcons. So finally, MOUZ in a really nice position. 1 minute 20 on the clock. They have a lot of control outside, so they have a lot of options here, Anders, in where they can pressure. As you've mentioned a lot of teams really favoring using control like this to kind of try to get into that B play through the outside.
Oh, Meg, this is so scary, but the reward could be absolutely epic if he can make his way forward and catch Jimmy up here. The rest of them, they are looking around Exertion on a bit of a solo mission. The bomb is making its way down below, though, with the other 3 players on the team. So MOUZ, they've infiltrated everything. They're all over the map right now. One false move from anyone on Falcons here, and they're going to be dead. The odds are really in their favor here.
Magus is getting closer and closer to those secret players. That line of sight is still open. They haven't disappeared down the stairs just yet. As he gets closer and closer, they're coming back into the yard. Magisk here, set up for a huge play. And he's just going to take them both down. Another player there on the outside. And it's great damage despite going down to Brolan. But m0NESY is there from Squeaky. Gets crunched, but at least gets one.
Yeah, still not over yet. Kixan has hit the bombs outside. There's only 15 seconds left. They need to pick up that bomb and make a bit of a run of it. Jimfat, the one to try and do it. And he misses the fight. Oh, no, Kixan. You've got to get at least that kill now. Exertion would have been on top of him right away. So it still would have been a hard round to win, no doubt. But that's going to sting a little bit. You want to see him get that kill a little bit faster. But for MOUZ, it's such a relief, right? They almost lose it to that very long flank from Magisk out here. Look at him. It's almost comedy how they lined up for him.
It's so cool as well to see that type of play because Team Falcons, as we've been showing, have mostly played quite passively, so you don't necessarily expect crazy pushes like that from one of your side anchors. But with that said, another fast opening here with the initial nades on nuke here from MOUZ. And in terms of the economy, this is now a round that could reset both teams. So a hugely impactful one. If MOUZ want to get into winning ways and start to take the lead, this would be the one to help them to do it.
Yeah, it does carve out a little bit of a position for them. Different kind of setup here with Brolan and Exertion outside, so quite likely that we're going to be seeing some sort of a B split here. Bomb heading over towards the ramp position. Only thing that Falcons know right now is that they really can't see anything behind that smoke wall. They can't get the read on how many people have gone down. m0NESY taking down Spinks, but Jimfat's right there to trade him. A bit of an awkward jump away. Looked like he got caught on the railing.
There are 2 players down here, though, for Falcons. Magisk contestants, we'll have to see what they can do. MOUZ certainly feeling like there's somebody around here. The timing there is a surprise, but Exertion able to handle that very nicely, leaving just Tessus. Again, they might... Oh my god, Jimmy, of course, is so ready for that one. And now the bomb should surely go down, and there's just 2 left here, Nico and Kixan.
It would be fitting if it was Jimmy that brought them back into the game, because his performance yesterday was obviously legendary. And someone has to step up and try and fight Nico at the moment, so maybe it could be him. Down to the B bomb site. The sandwich works. And partly assisted, I think, from whatever it was that was going on with m0NESY there, because his whole plan really is to get the kill and escape. So a little bit of a slip-up, perhaps, created a path for it. 5-4. It's already much better for MOUZ than it was the last go-around here on the T side. I think we've got a potentially quite an interesting game on our hand. We should have, because obviously the semifinals here at Blast Rivals is so crazy. Like we've got all the teams that we really wanted. It's just going to be such a fiery end to the tournament. There's no question.
Oh yeah, it's just so insane what we have on our hands right now. We get a timeout as well, and Team Falcons, they did manage to save a couple rifles there, and we did see them take that second round or rather it was the third round with the 4 spike weapons they had left over.
Yes.
They managed to convert that by playing really passively, getting a good sense as to where MOUZ was on the map. So we'll see if there's a different approach from MOUZ or if they'll run into similar problems in this case. And I mean, right now they're probably feeling a bit more confident. They've been hitting their shots. Their aggressions have been working out. So I wouldn't expect them to be quite as having quite as many issues as that round.
No AWP on the... Oh, there is on m0NESY. But he's been playing very far back. He's not really been playing yard. They've been leaving that up to Nico. It makes me wonder if MOUZ could want to exploit that mini roof, because you can get some sick drop downs on Nico. If he's playing the mini position and you allow Exertion or somebody else or Brolan to play on top of the mini roof and jump him, you can flash in for it. If you think that m0NESY is going to be far away, which he has been most of the time, then maybe there's a chance to exploit that dynamic and get rid of Nico, even though fighting him straight up is kind of scary. But speaking of m0NESY, he's actually moving into a position where he will be available to fight out there in maybe 10 seconds.
And Falcons haven't really peeked the secret with anything so far, so it's certainly a great thing to do it first with your AWPer, and so we'll see if MOUZ can get any value. Typically, there's going to be Molotovs and things there to really stop any shenanigans, but Desertion, he's just going to go straight down, and the AWPer's the perfect weapon for this. Have to see if his reflexes are quick here, MOUZ, as he gets teased and absolutely nails the shot onto Exertion. Very well done there from MOUZ.
You can see Exertion again trying his best to, jiggle out any kind of an early shot, and he wasn't maybe far off. Tessus is going to be falling back. They also know that Brolin was outside, so again, I think they know it's the same split towards the bomb side. I think they have such a good read right now, Falcons, of what's going on. From one, finding Exertion, but then Brolin throws in the Molotov from the back of the yard, and they can put the rest together, especially with Tessus saying, yeah, they're going towards the ramp. The only maybe wrinkle here is the fact that they've kept on pushing up. Nico was not ready, and Jimfat takes him down straight up the ladder, and now Magisk inside of the bomb site. He needs a little bit of backup, and I think there is someone coming in. Tessus up the ladder behind him, ready to try and receive the two Danes, trying to hold on to the A side as much as they can. Is not successful at all, defeated by the Finnish rifler. 3 on his side, and now MOUZ and Kixan, very tough round to retake. If you wanted to get a go at it here, you need to buy some space for MOUZ to get up out of the ladder.
And that might be the space there. That kill means everything. MOUZ up the ladder, just like you said. But will they expect this position from Brolan? He's trying to really milk this one, find that perfect timing for the peak. And he's found a great timing for the peak, and the follow-up is there for Brolan. The in-game leader delivers here for MOUZ.
A shame that incendiary on the high ground failed, because even if it wouldn't have killed anyone, obviously, it gives them a lot more to worry about as they're trying to go for the retake there. Nice beginning to the round here for Falcons, but an even better end for MOUZ. And that's... I actually think this is kind of a shocking round for Falcons to lose. I'm very sure they had a super good read on what was going on. It's weird to see Nico not be as ready as I thought he would be for that one, because he's in a position to be there, and they pretty much had a little info. Now, they're out of money. Round number 11 here. MOUZ taking great strides in the first half to stop themselves from ending where they did last time on Nuke. 16-3 in favor of Falcons. Don't really want that again. Or 16-6 or 13-6. Wow, numbers are hard, Dan. I'm not right.
They are.
At least
yes,
for my brain.
I'm right there with you, man.
If I just say enough numbers, no one will actually hear what I said anyway.
Yeah, you just confuse everyone. It's fine. All right, well. Gotta be careful, these Eagles. One more attempt maybe before they can jump on this position, but it's all a bait there. MOUZ, who's been boosting up. Let's see what he can get. How much value is this bait? Really want to get one. They actually look straight for MOUZ. They understand the setup, but still kills are raining in here for Team Falcons. Spix will clean up ever so slightly there to keep the numbers advantage, but oh my goodness, MOUZ is coming alive here on ramp.
They really should never get away with this. MOUZ on the one side, Magisk on the other. He's picked up a rifle as well, and a straight headshot to take down Jimfat. Disastrous here for MOUZ Sports. Why is this happening? Why are they going into the stack on the ramp with the boost up there? It's so...
A quick bob and a weave, and we're in the lower side here for Team Falcons.
Well, that's a surprise. A goosh as well onto Jimfat. Lucky to be alive behind this one. It's actually not a P250 on Nico. I think he normally has that on the T side of this map, but they wanted to dive down into B. They've lost Kixan at the same time. It's a nice position for MOUZ, but it is not at all a one round yet. 3 versus 5. They're going to count to 3, Dan, and they're going to go.
And here it is, Tessus is ready. He's got to get a couple here, but it's going to be just the one. Jimfat with 2 headshots, and now it gets even worse. A 1v4, MOUZ against the clock here. The defuse surely coming in very shortly. His position now spotted, and it's just the dollies. What do you even do against that Anders?
Just so many
Just running all over the place.
Yeah, there's nothing that he could have done there, I think, easily. He has to push forward into it, right? He has to assume that they're already defusing. Even if they weren't just yet, he has no way to know that information, so has to pretend like they are anyway. MOUZ winning a really important round, and even this early kill here from Torshid is absolutely critical. Really, really nice retake. Jimfat continues to do great work, and you're right, the sheer mobility is hard to deal with.
I mean, you said it earlier, there's no justice in Counter-Strike. I feel like that's a very good example of that.
Definitely not the right place to look for that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
We've got other stuff to offer, you know. Got some comedy every once in a while, good action, you know. Nico, 12 kills and 6 deaths. And MOUZ up there with 11 as well. That duo being reunited. Kind of a scary prospect for anyone that had to play them over in G2U. Everyone knows. Everyone's had to be on the other side of that. Okay, just guesswork here.
Shooting fish in a barrel. And we did get some damage onto Nico, but they've made their way down, Team Falcons, with the integrity of all 5 members. More bodies to throw at the problem.
If they could get a bomb plant and, 1 or 2 kills here, then that's not a bad position to be in. There's absolutely nobody downstairs. They sort of trusted that some of the spam through the smoke, would have revealed if somebody was there, but they're wrong at the moment. And also, I think for MOUZ, they probably realized this could be a bomb plant. They just say, well, even if it is, we're going to retake it with Broline on the MP9, essentially opening up everything. We're going to be able to win the after plant. So does it feel bad to give up the bomb plant? Yeah, maybe. But right now for MOUZ, I think it's just about stringing enough rounds together. Don't lose early on like you did in the first half. It's not worth it.
Yep. There's often the equation where it's more important to prioritize your own economy over the
That's the bomb.
T's.
They want to go
up. This is not the angle. This is not the angle there. Kickstand goes down, as does Modesty. The bomb's been discovered, and it is just a shooting gallery for Broland dropping in. Now into Nico's crosshair. We'll see what else he can find. A couple Deagle headshots for some damage, but ultimately, MOUZ coming out on top. And that was a good round for MOUZ, and they continue to grow their economy.
Man, he was ready to go, Broland. Up as soon as he got the first one, he actually died. He just dove down with the MP9 to shoot more people. Okay, Falcons obviously assuming that MOUZ would have made more of a correction and rotated down below. They can't know what we knew, which is that if they'd gone for the B bomb site, they would have been able to plant the bomb, no problem. But from their point of view, they probably think, well, there's no way MOUZ haven't rotated. They probably have. So let's try and see if we can throw them for a loop and go up instead.
Yeah,
just that's how the game is,
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great call out. You gotta do the wild things in a matchup like this. The element of surprise is always valuable, and Falcons operating from the lobby mostly here, looking perhaps at that ramp. However, it's fairly fortified here.
And now Nico playing that same position that Exertion was playing in the first half, right? He's alone outside. It happens all the time. If you find him, you've got some good read on what might be coming next. Jimfat's going to be falling back. Doesn't really want to commit to that fight, and who could really blame him?
There's interesting options here for Falcons. Sometimes teams will just sit on that ramp control. You've taken that part of the map away from the CTs. You don't have to just shove into the lower site. You can kind of understand, okay, I know how they'll rotate off of this, and now I can try to exploit those holes.
Both Torshi and Exertion are so paranoid about Nico coming through Mini. They know that he's out there somewhere. They have a really good idea of it. You could see that they're all the time turning around to look. Like every 2 seconds, somebody's looking for Mini. Torshi's out here calling it. This really for them is a game about finding Nico. If they do, they might have a chance here. Oh, he's found Torshi out in the open, and a rare couple of misses for Nico. That almost never happens. And now the question is, what did the rest of the team do? They were expecting Nico to get that kill, and then they could have gone onto the A bomb site, and it would have been absolutely sick, I guarantee it. But now they've been slowed down. We're talking 14 seconds to try and get onto the A side. Magus has got 1 kill. Tessus will pick it up. Somehow he's up on the high ground. He's walked all the way around to get the job done. They get the bomb planted as well. And Torshi and Jimfat now a 2 versus 3. How did Falcons recover the round after losing really their main point of attack, which was Nico opening up the site and weakening that A defense? That all failed, and then they still brought it back. Magus on the high ground.
Yeah, that early ramp control being that key factor when all that attention was brought outside because of Nico. Magus just found a moment to slip in. And again, I feel like there's been a lot of rounds here where he has been so instrumental in either the defense, just the clutch plays, or just knowing the timings and really coming in there to deliver for the team. And Falcons know that there's a save afoot right now. They're looking for it. Let's see if they can take the guns out of the hands of the remainder of MOUZ. But, oh, we've got a standoff. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, sorry about lack of justice. It had to be Kickstand, of course. 4 and 11 on him. Tess is 5 and 10. Devastating. That's 10 seconds on the clock when they start to get those kills. I'm really shocked. I think MOUZ might be as well. 8 to 7 here. This is early on in the second half as well, so immediately slowing down the CT economy, immediately putting the stress back on MOUZ here. If they fail this next round, Dan, it's it's not going to be fun for MOUZ. It might be, even though it's a close match in terms of the numbers right now, it could swing in favor of Falcons very quickly.
Yes, but one thing I think that's we've already seen from both of these teams is that they are so capable of pulling out the surprises when there's not much going for them. So,
True.
Epic match so far between these two teams. Some of the absolute best in the world, of course, as we move into round 16. And there's much more movement outside here. Nico, he wants revenge for that previous fight where he faltered, and he's down Secret real fast here.
Yeah, that's going to be heard by Jimmy, so he knows to at least call it out. Keeps on running. Nico in these hallways, he is a demon. It's so worth going back and watching his POVs for how he peaks, because he pre-aims the wall every single time and will swing to take those fights. He has just one of the most robotic ways of clearing all of those angles. This time he ran the whole way, but when he does it more slowly, it's so fun to watch. Brolan boosted up now. Falcons, they themselves want a round like this. Not quite going to be as easy here with m0NESY dropping the MP9. Still a 4 versus 4, and Nico's all the way back outside. They'll be found by Jimmy. 3 versus 4. Okay, MOUZ. Maybe there's a way.
I think with Nico coming back there, I think the plan was get that ramp take and they convinced to rotate down and then come back into the upper side. But now Falcons have to adapt. And they're deciding to go down the ramp. 3 versus 4, so against the numbers of MOUZ. Smoke to block the window. Torsey on the other side. As Falcons start to slowly scale across onto the site. 30 seconds to go here. And MOUZ aren't fully rotated just yet. There's the bomb plant. MOUZ no.
Torsey. For a minute, it looked like he wanted to shoot his way through. There is a Molotov on Tessus. Now, it's very early, so it doesn't make a big difference right now. It could slow them down, but a little bit later on, that grenade could be absolutely huge. Torsey takes the first tight and drops Tessus immediately. That's a bit of a start. m0NESY and Kixan. Time for Kixan to do something, but shot in the back of the head instead and leaving it up to m0NESY. 1 versus 3. He's picked up the Molotov from earlier. Going to bounce it off the wall just to try and slow them down. He runs straight into the headshot. Very nicely done. And they have enough time for the defuse here, so he wasn't ever going to be able to stop them completely. Nice retake for MOUZ. They absolutely needed this round.
That 1v1 in the control room there, that was everything there for MOUZ. And you were saying it as well, Anders, that this was such a critical one for them to win, to stay ahead, keep the head above the water in the series. Great work there from Torsey. Unreal stuff. And now Team Falcons gonna have to reassess things, but I love the game plan, Anders. Getting Nico super fast down Secret, super heavy threat, forces out the smoke grenade, so he's drawing util out of the lower defender anchor, and then we get Falcons threatening ramp, and it creates both possibilities. They can either go down, the other team has to respect that you can force a rotate, but then Team Falcons can go upper, so they get all of these options. And so I love the round approach, but always comes down to the headshots at the end of the day.
I think that the person that was there to sort of receive Nico right at the start of the push that it did was Torsey. And again, him not taking the fight to Nico, because they knew he was there. Jimmy had already heard him run down. Sometimes that is such an underappreciated aspect of the game. You know someone is there, but if he dies, the whole round unravels. So for Torsey to say, look, you know what? I won't do it. I'll hold the position. I'm not going to die here. Even though, it's not as flashy. Those kind of decisions are really, really important for MOUZ right now, because once you let Nico loose on that lower side of the map, it's pure chaos from there on out.
And this could be a way back in. That's Nico's name. He's on the outside again, searching for redemption. The hero AK for Team Falcons. Looking to get the entry that could maybe be another gun picked up for them. Heavy presence outside. Can recycle the AK if necessary. They have thrown this. Oh, there is the HE, and Exertion is so quick with it.
Nico had just jumped half a second later, and he's going to be ready for it. Tessus goes down, and you don't actually have to take that many more risks here. It's a 5 versus 3. Just make sure you seal the deal. A little bit of a swing there for Exertion. Feeling the momentum, feeling the excitement of it all. As they are about to take the round lead, just Magus, who's been playing very well, as you mentioned. You actually mentioned the breakdown. He's been criticized a bit, you could say.
Yeah, it seems like the focus is on him, but there's another headshot from MOUZ. Again, if he can get more damage in, that would be great. And he should certainly be able to get some more fights, but we'll see if he can find those headshots. It's just scanning. They're not giving him anything here, Anders.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. But he is a dangerous player, and I don't know. There might have been a chance for Jimfat to immediately get the revenge kill, but one more there would have made a big difference. 9-8. MOUZ. Much better than last time. Yeah, sick timing.
Yeah. Lightning fast reactions. Obviously, you know the H is coming. MOUZ looking classy on the outside so far. And I feel like Nico's a player, he can always see his emotions, wears his heart on his sleeve. But I feel like this has been a frustrating nuke for him. There's been several engagements where he's either got caught off guard or not gotten the kill that he's looking for, which, as you say, fairly uncharacteristic, but it does happen. Counter-Strike is a game of many individuals, not just one. So his teammates will certainly have to give him a hand out there.
Kick Sander, Grenadier, setting up diagonal wall. Toshi, though, could he actually see them if they go out by red? He absolutely can. You mentioned frustration on Nico. I mean, we have enough to make like a 10-hour movie of Nico reactions at this point in Counter-Strike history, but we're going to add to it now, presumably. Love to see the cam. Magisk ends up going down as well, so some of the hardest hitting players here on Falcons out of it. And Spinks, look at him. Going all the way around, so if they weren't already winning this round, I mean, he's pretty much closing slowly any opportunity for Falcons to do much of anything. MOUZ looking to take 10 rounds here, and the next kill, I think, will pretty much seal the round. I mean, they're already, 85% of the way there. The wraparound, they know what's coming.
Oh, Kicksad is actually going to take him down. All right, so now the round could potentially be back on here for Team Falcons. Still outside, though, still have to make their way through the choke points, and without any time to work with, they're going to have to start taking really big risks here, and it's going to be highly telegraphed. We'll have to see if they can hit the headshots as they move their way back into ramp. Look for lower sight.
It's so confusing that Spinks doesn't win that fight. He's been playing really well all tournament. There we go, another entry. Tess is the one to pick it up, but it's a double position. An exertion very nearly ends it. 4 seconds left here. The bomb is being planted, so at least they're going to have a chance to fight for it. 2 versus 3, and Monacy alive. Tess's now would be his time to shine. He's got to be careful, though. Swings out here, and not going to be peeked just yet. Closing the door behind him. They spot out Brolan. Using that incendiary. I don't think they care about that. They don't mind waiting up here. It's up to MOUZ to try and get close to that bomb. And with a lot of speed behind it, one more headshot for Tessis. He's looking to seal it in their favor. 3 kills on him, and Brolan hunting. Panic to try and stop this. That bomb is ticking away in the background. And he taps it once, but he's not buying it. Tessis ice cold on the other side. He finally gets the headshot. Spins around, tries to go for the defuse. Does he have quite enough time for it? He just might! Oh my God!
Oh, that's so close, my goodness. Tessa stepping up for Team Falcons. Beautiful stuff there to keep things going, doing the damage and setting them up, if not to win, obviously that round, but to win future rounds as the economy now is strained for MOUZ. There's that opening there for Torsi, and Tess is with the hero moment here for Team Falcons. Oh, it's so close.
It just couldn't really be closer.
Oh my, that is, again, I feel like the theme is the lack of justice, and as we just keep seeing it, and we're back into the action. It's a fast push here, straight into the ramp, and that is Jimfat going down, so Team Falcons find themselves a weapon.
Straight out of that frustrating loss, trying to make up for it. How sick is that? Rushing the ramp with the Tech 9s and waiting. Oh my God, that's more frustration for him as he gets completely bodied by Brolan again, who, by the way, won that last clutch. 4 versus 4. It's a very, very fast bomb plant here. They have a smoke as well on Kickstand that can really slow down the incoming CTs. Tech 9 swings wide, and Magisk is, I think, a single bullet away from taking down a double kill there. 3 versus 3, and then it's not getting any easier right now. MOUZ, they can't really give up this round here, but they might be forced to. Nico back with the headshot, and now the flank is coming in. Monacy very nearly does it, but they're out of time right now. I think they know. Torshi's already so far away with the AWP, and he has the kit as well. Spinks looking to escape, but Nico will not let him. Falcons, they claim it back once again, 9-10. This is such a hard fight right now for both teams. What an exhausting way to start a series.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Torsi, at least for MOUZ, saving the AWP. Obviously, their economy's a little bit strained, but yeah, this fast entry there from MOUZ, starting the action, and then Brolin dropping down into the vent with a ridiculous shot. But the play I love the most was how Magis was actually going really aggressive with the Tech-9, trying to fight for space, getting a lot of damage in addition to a kill, setting Nico up for an easy frag. And sometimes, Ada's pace is all you need.
Yeah, you can solve a lot of problems like that. Because there is sort of a flow of communication happening on the CT side, and when you lose sort of, ramp B, the bomb plant, like in quick succession, it's sort of hard to catch up with what's going on necessarily. And also because you don't want to over-rotate, you don't just want to say, oh, well then let's all go to the B bomb side immediately, because that can easily be the wrong call. So 9 to 10, let's go. This is exactly how we want this semi-final to begin. MOUZ still not all the way, locked into the game. He's got 13 kills. He's not playing badly at all. But there's so much more. Here we go. Speed is back at it again. Relentless Falcons actually bullying MOUZ all of a sudden. They're down below with the bomb line. This could be a 5-man save. This is a really hard call for MOUZ to make. They might just walk away from this one immediately.
I think you might be right here, but we'll see if Falcons are going to be able to force some fights at the very least. Because one of the reasons why MOUZ would do that is because their economy sucks. So Falcons could get mega value if they're able to find some frags. But I mean, they've got to be careful too, because despite putting themselves into a spot to now win this round, their money kind of sucks as well. So
I think emotionally losing rounds like this can be very, very hard. Now, you're right though. If they can save all the guns, at least there's something there. And Falcons, they kind of respectfully walk away. Sometimes call this a unicorn round where just nobody dies, at least yet. Looking for it, though. They are searching for an opportunity, but the bomb, Nico, why? Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
He was all the way by the red container. I'm confused.
I don't understand the bomb in CS2, Anders.
No,
personally.
it's true.
But 10-10, we're all tied up. And what was really interesting there, too, is that, I mean, pace was the answer to get Falcons back in it with pistols in the previous round to this one, and they went for pace again, just in a different location, and MOUZ just still didn't seem to expect it a second time in a row, so you got to hand it to Falcons. That's a great call. It's worked out beautifully.
It's going to condition MOUZ a lot. Grenades, they want to do it again. They just don't respect them at the moment. Magus goes down. Torshi is going to force some respect out of them, though. 2 kills, one of them through the smoke while halfway flashed. And finally, they put an end to the Falcons' terror run. MOUZ and Kixan alone, 2 versus 5 here. The bomb is lost somewhere else. Just take a deep breath, MOUZ Sports. You don't need to lose this round. If everyone communicates, if everyone slows down this round, you're going to be fine.
Totally. We'll see what they're able to extract here. This defense looks quite nasty. Jimfat in a really good position. Look at that. Kixan had no chance in hell. And so it's a great finish from MOUZ. I don't think anyone even losing any HP that round. So 5 players survive for MOUZ, and they're back in some relative comfort. As much comfort as you could be in a semi-finals against Team Falcons when it's an 11-10 scoreline.
This is going to be an exhausting game, isn't it? If it keeps going, when a semi-final starts like this, so back and forth, already some really heartbreaking rounds that are being lost. Well, if it goes to all 3 maps or we end up in overtime, that's when people start making more mistakes. You get a little bit more confused. It's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. Round number 22 going to be coming up here. Falcons, let's see what they can bring here. It's Torshi. I love that we have this camera angle. First one is there. You can see him looking at the kill feed as soon as he does it. He has no idea. He actually got the flick. Oh! He's actually so sick, isn't he?
He's so good. He's so fun to watch. And I feel like that round is such a good example that MOUZ are fully adjusted to the pace change. So we'll see if Team Falcons actually respect that. They are slowing things down a little bit, not just gambling straight into a site or position. We've got more of a regular looking round.
Yeah, but look at the early utility. Falcons threw that quick Molotov under the hut. So because they've been so fast, they are trying their best to make MOUZ throw all of their grenades towards Squeak and Hut right at the beginning, just to stop that from happening again. And if Falcons go and play slow now, we could end up in a situation where MOUZ have no utility, past 40 seconds.
And Nico's actually going to void the outside here. So Falcons representing some threat outside. and now they're regrouping into lobby. MOUZ in a very casual setup at the moment. Spinks asking questions outside. He's going to see there's nothing there. Spinks knows exactly what's happening now.
This is an awesome play to be making at this point in time. Now, last time he got this kind of a flank that was from the other way, and it actually didn't work out for him. Surely going to be rewarded for his efforts here, because he's maybe a couple of seconds away from getting the entry as they're executing onto the A site. Jimfat inside, Exertion running from the flames, trying to get out of the misery. 30 seconds left, and they are pushing it. Nico goes down as well, and they knew everything. They had such a good setup to deal with this. Even if Spinks is going to end up maybe with no kills in the round, it doesn't really matter here. He set it up for his team to be ready for that execute. He can see them throwing the grenades from the T roof. He can call it in before it happens and say, yes, it is going to be an A execute. Get ready, boys.
Yeah, that's such a great read, absolutely. Because the best teams in the world, they mix up their timings a lot. That push at that timing for Spinks could be fatal in certain spots. But he has such a good read for it. And as you say, the information is half of the game in Counter-Strike. And MOUZ winning that battle in that previous round. And now they are on the cusp of winning map 1 here against Team Falcons in the semi-finals.
And itself would be kind of a shock. And they actually have quite a bit of money as well on the MOUZ side. Even if they lose a round in a weird way here, they're not necessarily immediately in overtime either. They can still fight for the 24th round, but Falcons, on the other hand, it's one Deagle, one Mac-10, Tech-9, and then a couple of Galils as they are already wrapping around this A bomb site. Brolin had no idea. Now they're down below, though, and Spinks and maybe in a bit of trouble here. Doing the best that he can, but ultimately edged out by Nico. 3 versus 4. And a lot of control for MOUZ in this round.
Oh, I love this as well. Back up the vents. And pausing here as well. 4v3. Picked up a couple guns.
They're not in bad positions, MOUZ. See if they can sneak through. Nobody knows. Oh, he checks it. There was a big opportunity there. And they pretty much had the lower part of the map covered as well. So if Exertion could have found that kill, then there might have been a way back into it. Torshi was on the other side with the AWP. So again, he could have been up the high ground. There was a way back into this one, but now it's about saving the weapons if you can. Or maybe even more importantly, denying these weapons to Falcons, because if they start to pick them up, then next round is going to be even harder here. Jimmy, doubt he's going to be allowed to do anything fun.
Massive round from Tessus. And they pick up the AWP as well, so it's really looking nice there for Falcons. Falcons really finding, in the rounds which seem the most hopeless, they have found multiple occasions in this game of Nuke salvation through some of these aggressive plays and the individuals. You know, Tessus, Magisk, most notably, I feel. And Jimfat will save that weapon, but now there's the danger that there's an AWP that can make its way into Munacy's hands. But the question is, for Team Falcons, how will they best use this, Anders? Because generally, Falcons have had most of their success from some of these faster rounds. When they slow it down, it seems to be the case that MOUZ end up winning the information battle, getting better positioning, and then shutting down Team Falcons.
It would be sick if they could find the opening for Munacy, but yeah, it's not been the style that they've been playing so far. I think you're right. Still, round number 24. A MOUZ. They just need one more round. One good opening kill here could seal the deal. Playing into overtime. Definitely not a thing that MOUZ are going to be looking to do at the moment. Exertion playing alone in mini, and I think Torshi's already wrapped around. Okay, he's going to come back. I thought maybe he wanted to join Jimmy for some more aggression, but I think they've called it off if they ever wanted to here. Tess is up on top of mini. Whenever you see him here, he does love that mini drop that I mentioned in the first half. That's something that Tessus also really loves to do. If he gets the opportunity, maybe he will give it a shot here.
So much tension here on the outside, I feel. I mean, Falcons, are they going to lose the opener against Torsi there? Nico going down, and that's precisely why there's so much tension here. This opening duel has meant so much, and for it to go the way of MOUZ certainly puts Falcons in a very, very bad spot right now.
That M4A1 is so dangerous in this position because it is just a little bit longer. Gotta be careful that the gun barrel isn't showing, because then you probably will be dead. Exertion looks like he's got it under control for now. We're at 45 seconds. The bomb's in lobby. There's Tessus with a bit of an opening, and it's Exertion that he finds. Let's see the drop into Mini, like we mentioned earlier, and they're going to try and see if they can crunch it from there. Nice pickup. Brolan goes straight down. What a fast kill coming up from Tessus. We didn't even get to see that. One click and Brolan is deleted. Torshi eats a grenade as they're trying to get up on the high ground here, but the bomb's going to be planted, and Falcons 2 kills away from getting the game into overtime. What a fabulous way to get the semi-final started here. Torshi goes down and kicks and gets the last on Jimmy. And it's overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Falcons claw their way back.
You love to see it. Let's get the most rounds possible here. And it's between these two teams. It's looking really, again, we said it. Falcons seem to be delivering the best when it looks the most hopeless. And it really seems like MOUZ are consistently gaining more advantages that, you know, just if you put them on paper, they are going to be winning more of the time. And it just still doesn't seem to matter against Falcons. Tessus has been the one that has stepped up on multiple rounds now when they are in this position. So it's great to see. And I mean, it's not surprising, Anders. Falcons is stacked with talent.
It's a recall to a conversation we were having earlier in the tournament, Dan, about, you know, having a slow start just as an individual player, but then finding your moment later in the game when you can actually make a difference. And Tessus is absolutely doing that because he was a bit of a burden to the team at the start of the game here, no question. 12-12 though, we're in overtime. Money problems pushed away for a minute.
The question is, what are the solutions for Falcons? Because again, you know, returning back to the fact that they like to open outside, but they just consistently lose the opening pick, and you can't allow that to be the case, you know, constantly. So either they switch that up or they run a different type of default. They are picking up that outside timing once again. So much utils out there. Magic could be denied anything on Squeaky as well. So now it's making things as hard as possible for Team Falcons.
By statistics alone, in the last 3 months, they really favor either ramp splits or, you know, or just straight ramp attacks. But they love that B-bomb site on Nuke, something that they really enjoy calling in the mid-round. So, apart from going fast, if I had to make a guess, I would say we are going to be seeing more of those coming into this one. Checking that forward position that Exertion was in the previous round, this time with the Molotov. Would have been a nice way to find an opening, no question.
And I feel, you know, Falcons has done a good job here because MOUZ may be paranoid of those super fast plays. They have no util left. There's a minute left, and there is an incendiary, and that's it, really, for MOUZ. So Falcons have successfully depleted all the utility of MOUZ.
Yeah, and that's from those earlier fast pushes that we were talking about. So MOUZ are going to be slightly more worried and throwing their grenades maybe a little bit sooner than you would have liked. Speaking of time, 30 seconds. Kixan, the one to find the opening on Jimfan. That's an issue for the A-bomb side. Brolan, he's got some problems here. He does have one teammate up on the rafters next to him, but they're pushing forward. Spink's also coming up with a potential flank. He's going to drop Modesty before he even has a chance, and this A defense is rock solid. Oh man, I thought that was going to get much better for Falcons. I actually think they had kind of a sick setup, but I guess when it starts with that flank on Spinks, it all kind of washes away.
Spinks has really been an absolute master of the secret position, really finding every timing. I feel like that's very difficult. He's found it. He's been the one that's got on the better end of it. And I think we see another example of that there. Nico turning away just at the wrong moment. And there's a world where if they actually keep pushing and try to find Spinks, that could have actually gone a lot better. Either they force the engage, there's no util left, so you know, he'd have to fall back, they create space. There's a lot that could happen, but hey, we're into the next round here, and it's another opening outside. On to Nico again from Torsi.
So impressive, isn't it? Wait, did they just reveal him with their own grenade?
I think they did. I think they did, Anders.
That was kind of a dick move, isn't it?
Hey man, you gotta give Falcons something to work with outside.
I was just praising Torshi for how many times he's defeated Nico out there, and then they go and throw it all away potentially. Jimmy goes down. One-man disadvantage here. We'll see if Spinks could bring him back. He does have the AK stolen from the previous round, and a little bit of a jump here. He's actually wrong on the timing.
He's missed it.
Well, he's still back here, so can kick open the door, and not ready at all. Closes it behind him to avoid any draft or any bullets coming through. Okay, never mind. Want to see taking care of business. Brolan setting up the initial retake here. He's got Torshi coming in behind him. Another grenade into the smoke, and it reveals Tessus on the other side. I don't know how he lives through that. He should have been so dead. It's back turned as well. And Torshi very nearly getting spammed down through the smoke. He's in a tough position here at the back. 2 people on the other side. m0NESY has already tagged him down to 42, and it's not going to get easier. Flashes coming through, taken down. What a dynamic between m0NESY and Megascape with the flashbang setup. And Falcons, they win around here in overtime, which I think is really needed.
It is surprising, though. I'm sure we'll see it in the replay. That there's that own goal type of element there with the reveal. And that's, I mean, that's a great opening. NiKo has been, again, having such a frustrating game outside. I mean, honestly, it's an own goal, Anders. That's all you can say about that.
I mean, 3 of the kills in the round, 2 of them in the yard and the 1 down below, had to do with, you know, smokes getting blown open. And some of the time it worked, and some of the time it kind of backfired a little bit, unfortunately. Here we go. Last round of the first half of overtime. We're looking for the first team to get 16. They're just calling it in. Guy on the hut. As they're going to be setting up the smokes in the yard to just apply a little bit of pressure. Relocation in from Exertion. It's kind of dangerous, but I do like it.
You've got to be confident. Exertion in position. m0NESY, though, dangerous elements. And, oh, wasn't quite ready for that, but Exertion reveals his position. Has to reposition, and m0NESY respects it. But ultimately, slowing down Falcon's approach on the outside.
The grenade, NiKo again caught in the open, and they nearly line up for the kill. He's going to be so frustrated. It's happened so much out here. And now the question is, could Exertion do more? He's had a chance for a reload. He's got all his bullets left. And they're making their way across here, the diagonal smoke. It's Mega's gone the other side towards the lobby, so he's the solo player in this round, which is going to be fine. But the fact is they need to win a fight here down below, or at least need to get the bomb plant. There's really nobody here from MOUZ either.
Yeah, normally you would expect Spinks to be living down here.
Oh dear, MOUZ. Have they given up too much space? Last time this happened, Falcons tried to get up out of the ladder to get back up to the bomb site, and that was a massive mistake. That was where Brawler had the MP9. This time, It feels like they're going to follow through. Molotov to stop any rotations in. The bomb is going to be planted, and I think Falcons are right back on top of this round. Even with a man disadvantage here, this is a strong position to be in. Brolan could have got shot in the back, but Mega's playing this expertly. He just doesn't want to show himself. They might guess that someone could be here, but they can't really spend the time to look for it.
Really good post-plant positions here, as good as you could ask for. No util here for the retake, really, for MOUZ. And m0NESY in a great position. Lands that one every day against Exertion as the push continues here. But it is just players from MOUZ falling to the floor as the defense looks immaculate there from Falcons. Brolan now is the last person standing, and it's just not going to happen. What a shutdown, and that gamble from MOUZ. I mean, there's advantages to not moving your setup, Anders, but this time it failed for MOUZ.
And it's a weird callback to that previous round, where even if it worked last time for MOUZ, it's still that feeling of you really want to wait and never know what's happening down below. I mean, that's obviously, you're seeing the power of throwing the yard smokes because you can sneak people down to the B-bomb site without the CTs realizing. But typically, when there's that little time left in the round, some of the CTs would be moving. There would be more of more of a push to try and find some information there.
And you know, you mentioned it previously that the B site is super favored for Falcons, and MOUZ maybe, I'm not sure, just gambling the upper site. Normally Spinks would be there, but he's up. And we're going to get a fast pace, the pace change. They love it here. And they get running straight into the ram site. MOUZ, will it work for them as it did for Falcons? Tess is handling it brilliantly, picks away Brolan, and falls off safely.
Has stuck around just to try and get one more headshot as well. It's always risky. Oh, NiKo, hold on. He was impressed by Spinks earlier. He said, you know what? I did like that idea. I might try and steal that for myself. Exertion, he should never really be looking for this, but somehow he is. That is so... It's 1 minute and 16 seconds on the clock, Dan. Why is he checking the T-spawn flank at that time? That's so unusual.
What's crazy
rewarded.
Is that NiKo actually had the first few bullets too, so he's going to be even more frustrated. I mean, we know NiKo is frustrated already. That's going to be even worse. He's going to feel for sure. If you get the first bullet off, you should have had that kill. So, yeah. Surprising.
I hope Blast bought those titanium desks because we've already lost a couple in the heat of the battle, and NiKo certainly getting fueled up to to maybe break some more furniture. 40 seconds here. Oh my God, that's absurd. What is he doing? Kixan, he's had almost no highlights throughout the match so far, but he just swiped away at that mini position. Will get shot in the back eventually. Jimmy finding himself in an awkward crossfire and taken down from the Dane below. m0NESY getting a kill, and Torshi 1 versus 2, 20 seconds, trying to hunt down the sniper on the other side, but smartly m0NESY's not going to give him the chance here. He does have the bomb on his back, so he could fall down below. And honestly, if he gets the bomb planted here and escapes far enough... Oh, Tess is smart though. This is a great point to rotate. They do have an HE as well on m0NESY. He's going to use that to blow open the door so Torshi can't play any weird games. Wait a minute. He misses the shot. It won't be for the second time. m0NESY takes him down. A nice 2 versus 1 here for Falcons. And they're going to pick up another round. They're getting real close.
Yeah, and especially after the failed flank there from Nico, you're starting to wonder. But again, the recoveries keep coming for Falcons, and with the AWP there for Torsi, that is probably the best weapon that you could have in that type of clutch situation. So very scary stuff indeed, but Team Falcons just somehow managed to do it. And that flick from Kixan, honestly, Anders, I've made a lot of videos about aim. I wouldn't be able to explain that one, so we'll just leave that. We'll just leave that one there.
Nice. Yeah, for anyone that wants to, you should check out some of Dan's content, because there's more to it than you think, you know? More to it than you think. 15
I'm a nerd.
to 13. Yeah, I know, Dan, you know. I feel it's too late. Also, it is funny, obviously, we're being taught aim by someone who plays with an inverted mouse. I just have to call that out, you know?
It's like training with the weight vest.
I know. That's all right. All right. You had that pre-made answer. I appreciate that. Here we go. They're 1 round away. Falcons. It could be such a heartbreaking way for MOUZ. Again, 13-6 last time in favor of Falcons on this very map. It's not that long ago either, down in Australia. And for MOUZ to now get it into overtime and then potentially be denied a victory anyway, I don't think that's going to be a lot of fun. Smoke blown open out here. Nico, for once, he's actually got m0NESY outside, and they were ready for it. Torshi's been doing great work.
Great Molotov, though, from Nico. That's going to slow things down, buy time for his teammates to rotate. But even still, I love it from Exertion. Doesn't want to wait for his teammates. He knows the timing's important, but misses the shot. And that's a key moment here where we have to reset for both sides as MOUZ now reconsider their options.
Jimmy and Brolan inside of the lobby. Kixan, though. Hold the phone, pushing forward. Not quite as ready as he would have liked, but he still somehow wins the fight. How does he get Brolan? I could see how he could have surprised Jimfat here, but Brolan just almost getting the kill. 19 health on Kixan, and now he's just buying time. They're going to wrap around once again. We've said it every time we watch MOUZ play the map. It's something they just absolutely love, and it should work. I don't think there's enough defense. At a minimum, they should get a bomb plant. Kixan goes down, and now the question is how much more could happen. Magus does get a kill, but he's on the T roof. This is all-out madness. They've all traded places. Now the Ts are playing in CT positions, and the other way around. It's upside-down world. Tess is caught trying to get up. You're going to have to be a lot faster to get rid of Spinks. 2 versus 3 on the retake. I doubt this is going to happen.
Nico making his way up. I don't know that he's made it up there. Oh, but Exertion turning the corner at the perfect moment there, catches him, and now it's just Magix with 11 health, and he's not anywhere close. So you're right, Anders. This was kind of insane. If you look at all of the positional swaps, really, really wild stuff there. Just again, I mean, that is evidence that both teams are so high level that everyone can just start playing intuitively outside their own structures to find opportunities and then seamlessly play off of them. Okay, yeah, get those stats. Let's go.
Why not? Save the AK. By the way, he had 11 health and he went down to 4 in that range. It's like when you know exactly how the